Hey guys, Ryan Abrams here from Paper Doll Bar, Birmingham, Alabama. Just wanted to go ahead and make a few little cocktail videos for you guys. With everything that's been going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, the coronavirus, everything, unfortunately we've had to close our doors for public service, but fortunately we've been able to do some retail sales. With that, we've kind of taken that and we've put together some packages for you guys. If you're interested, we're doing some cocktail kits that you can actually buy liquor from us and our house-made syrups, house-squeezed juices, tinctures, bitters that we're including into the cocktail kit if you want to do that. Or if you have your own preferred spirits at home, we also have just our mixers for sale, as well as beer and wine. So if you guys see this while this whole thing is going on, please think of us for all of your spirited needs. So with that, like we said, we want to do some cocktail classes for you guys, just some short little videos, just kind of give you guys some recipes for what you might have in your own pantry, freezer, refrigerator. You may be thinking, hey, I really want a cocktail, don't know how to do it, don't know how to get started, what do I do? So we're going to do some simple stuff like that. So what we're going to do right now is known as the Cosmonaut. This is a cocktail that was brought up or created by Sasha Petrosky at his famous cocktail bar in New York City known as Milk and Honey. Sadly, Sasha is no longer with us, but this is one of his drinks that he brought to the table. This is actually going to be a jam preserve type cocktail. So we're using gin as our base. We're also using some raspberry preserves and we're using some lemon juice. Now this cocktail is going to be a 2-1-1 ratio. What we mean by that is we're doing 2 ounces of our spirit. We're doing 1 ounce of our sugar component, which in this case is going to be a raspberry preserve. And we're doing 1 ounce of our acid, which is going to be a lemon juice. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So we have half a lemon that's already cut right here. So what we want to do is we want to juice it. Now what I'm using here is known as an elbow juicer, obviously for lemon since it's yellow. But if you don't have one of these, if you have one at home that's maybe left over from your grandmother or your mother, it's a small kind of knobby looking dish that you don't really know what it is, they gave it to you, but you've got it, you can always use that. If you can't use that, if you don't have one or one of these, you can always use your hand. Just be sure and measure all the juice that you're going to be squeezing. Now that we're on the topic of measuring, typically in the bar what we use when we're measuring cocktails, because we're so enamored with portions and portion control and balance between spirit, aperitif, base spirit, sugar, citrus, tincture, bitters. We always want to make sure any cocktail that we make is not overly sugary, overly sweet, overly tart, overly bitter. So we're always measuring things. Now typically what we use in the bar is known as a jigger. This is a Japanese style jigger. If you don't have one of these at home, that's fine. That's okay. There are other ways to measure units. If you have a measuring cup or a small measuring cup, that's fine. So I actually have 2 here that we're just going to relate to you guys. We have one. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. If you're a baker, you probably more than likely have one of these. If you bake cakes, bake breads, whatever. Just a simple 1/4 cup. And this 1/4 cup measuring cup is going to measure out to 2 ounces of volume, which is what we're going to be using for this spirit. Also, we're using, if you don't have one of those, you've probably got one of these. So this is just a very simple medicine cap measuring cup that's from a bottle of NyQuil. I'm sure you probably have one in your cabinet somewhere or something similar to it. Obviously it's been washed. We're not going to do any kind of Dayquil, NyQuil kind of cocktails here, but it is a good measuring tool because as you'll notice it's measured, and you probably can't see it because it's, anyway. So we have markings here for a 15 millimeter mark and a 30 millimeter mark. A 15 millimeter mark is going to be half an ounce, whereas 30 millimeter is going to be a full ounce. So what we're going to do is, like I said, with all these cocktails, we're doing a 2-1-1 ratio. We're going to make it very simple, very easy to use. So let's go ahead and start with our lemon juice first. So with our NyQuil jigger, we're going to squeeze 1 full ounce of lemon juice into our cup. So we're just shy there. We're going to grab another half of lemon juice. So there we go. We've got half of that one gone, and so now we have a full ounce of lemon juice. We're going to pour that into our small glass that we're using to mix with. You can use whatever vessel you want. You just want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to seal when you go to shake it. So now we're going to take some of our raspberry preserves. And this is just something simple from the grocery store. Like I said, the whole reason we're doing this is this might be something that you have in your pantry or have in the fridge, whatever it might be. So we're going to pack that into a full ounce there, and we're going to move these out of the way. So we're going to take this and we're going to dump them into our smaller mixing glass, Boston style. And so this is going to be a gin cocktail. So what we're using today is actually going to be Broker's Gin. This is one of our favorites that we use. We love it for cocktails. Super botanical, super dry without being too dry. Very nice gin that we love to use. So again, going back to our quarter cup measuring cup. We're not exactly baking a cake here, but it'll work. So we're going to take our gin here, and we're going to fill up this quarter cup all the way to the top. We're going to take that and then we're going to pour that into our mixing vessel. Go ahead and get all that out of there. Put our gin back, put that to the side. Now what we want to do is we want to take the other side of our mixing cup. And some of you locals may notice this cup, it's an Innisfree cup. You may not have a shaker tin like one of these fancy things at home, but you've more than likely got one of these. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and pour this into the ice. And it doesn't matter really what kind of vessel you're using. You could be using a protein shaker bottle, you could be using a water bottle, a hiking water bottle, you could be using whatever, as long as you have a nice seal for when you go ahead and shake it, that you're not going to splatter everything all over your kitchen. So now it's on the ice. We're going to go ahead and shake it for about 10 seconds. What we want to do is we want to break up all the ingredients, and we want to introduce the acid into the sugars, and the acids and sugars into the base spirit. We want to create some aeration as well as dilution and chilling on the cocktail. So we're going to go ahead and get that all put together. We're going to take our top portion off. We normally use one of these Hawthorne strainers. If you don't have one of these, that's fine. That is totally fine. If you want to just do something makeshift, if you've got something perforated, something metal, what we're going to use is just this very simple grater. This would be used if you're using for grating onion, ginger, carrot, garlic, whatever. So we're just going to put that right over the top there. And we're just going to use a semi-fine sieve that you may have if you're a baker, if you use it, again, for confectioner's sugar, whatever it may be. So we're just going to use this right over the top. And we're just going to go ahead and introduce that down into the cocktail. We've got this really awesome raspberry color coming from it. We're just going to go ahead and put that to the side. We're just going to get the last bits of these that are kind of hanging on in that sieve. I'm just going to go ahead and put that to the side there. So now you have a Cosmonaut. Raspberry jam, lemon, gin. Easy as can be. Cheers, guys.
Hey guys, Jason.